Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I get to do something that we've never done before. We have our first split set coming around in Black Bolt and White Flare. And I think it's time that we answer the question, well, hang on a second, which set is better? Black Bolt or White Flare. We don't get split sets in the West. And well, until this set, of course, we literally have never had a split set. This is the first one. But if you have a look on this channel, some of the very most popular videos on this channel are me telling you which of the video games you should buy, Scarlet or Violet, for instance. Well, now we get to look at Black Bolt versus White Flare and see which of the sets is better. Sound like a plan? Excellent. And it's worth reminding ourselves at this point, these are different sets. And remember, there's no such thing as booster boxes. And there's some products like the poster collection, you're going to get some of each set, it doesn't matter. The Victini illustration collection, you're going to get some of each set, it doesn't matter. The mini tins, you're going to get some of each set, it doesn't matter. But if you buy an Elite Trainer box, you are getting Black Bolt or White Flare. If you buy a Binder collection, you are getting Black Bolt or White Flare. If you buy the booster bundles, you're getting Black Bolt or White Flare. So it is kind of important at this stage that we figure out which of the two is actually the better of them. So let's start off with playability, which is of course harder to quantify. But if we have a look at this graphic from Poker Card Book, for instance, they've gone and shown us what the metagame looks like over in Japan right now. And you may notice that in terms of Black Bolt and White Flare, this is a little bit anemic. We're finally starting to see quite a lot of trainers Pokemon on there. Well, at least, we've got Marnie in the top tier, we got Ethan Typhlosion in A tier, and then we do have, appearances by N, Zoroark, and Cynthia's Garchomp. But in terms of new decks, we've got Zekrom and Electric. That is all we've got from Black Bolt and White Flare, and obviously at this point, I'm assuming you guys probably know, we're talking Black Bolt here. So in terms of the best deck from the set, in terms of playability-wise, it's Black Bolt. Now, you might notice there is an Armarouge deck there, and Armarouge will obviously fit in Reshiram, but if we have a look at the graphic, I do think it's pretty instructive at this point that Zekrom with Electric is there, as this is the deck, and then not only is Armarouge below there, but it's not showing us one specific attacker with which it's paired. So although Reshiram will fit in there, it's not the same as Zekrom with Electric. The point I'm making to you here is that Zekrom wins. Zekrom is the best deck. So if you're looking for, the best deck coming out of the set, boom, it's Black Bolt. What about others? Well, we really kind of need to focus in on the EXs here, because this is where, the commons and uncommons are going to be very easy to pick up regardless. And I think Black Bolt wins here as well. There's two others I'm looking at from the set. There's Meloetta. Now, we actually talked about this one in quite a lot of depth earlier today, literally the last video on this channel. So we don't need to go into too much detail, but basically it's a basic Pokemon that can attack turn 1 going first. It can do 30 damage, which can pick up a surprising amount of cheeky KOs, but it can also start using those technical machines. Turn 1 going first. It's very nice. The other one I'm looking at from Black Bolt here is Genesect. I love Genesect. I think Genesect is really very good. Genesect has got that thing whereby once during your turn, you can go and search your deck for 2 evolution metal Pokemon. Now, they have to be metal Pokemon, and they have to be evolved Pokemon, but this is going to help out in any evolution metal deck. And the thing to remember about Genesect is, it's not just about what's good now, it's any metal evolution deck in the future, this is going to work. For me, on a personal level, I could tell you about, hey, this is the one that's got Excadrill in. Nah. Sorry, dudes. Excadrill is both a very cheap card in terms of the special illustration rare, and not a particularly playable card, though I would love to try and make more of a case for it. I'm sorry, I love it on a personal level, I acknowledge it's not good enough, let's move on with our lives. Because over in White Flare, I don't think we've got the same level. Now, we do have the Zoroark, which is my personal favourite card in the set. For free energy, you just get to copy one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks. It's good, but it is just a rare here, yeah? It's not some big fancy card like that. And in terms of the EXs, we do have a couple. There are a couple here where there is an argument to be made. We've got Jellicent, which has got the whole item lock thing going on. Yeah, that's right. Want to get some item lock going on? Wonderful news. It's got your back. But it's not making too many waves right now, I think is probably fair to say. And then we've also got, the only other one I'm really liking from the set, we got the Hydreigon, which has a really nice ability, which goes and takes an extra prize if you take a KO with it, but then the attack's kind of a bit meh, and I don't think it's all that good. So, as much as I hate to say it, I just don't think White Flare's as good on a playability level. I don't mean to be rude, but the reality is I think when we look at this from a playability standpoint, I think Black Bolt wins. I think Black Bolt absolutely wins. Now, if we pivot and have a look at the value proposition, which one's going to get you the better cards in that regard? Look, if we go to the high end, it's pretty much even. Your Reshiram Black and White Rare and your Zekrom Black and White Rare, they're basically the same at this point. There's no real tangible difference between them. They are, value-wise, pretty much exactly on the same level. So I don't think we need to worry about this too much. Similarly with the special illustration rares of Reshiram and Zekrom, they are miles above the others in the set. They are the big two special illustration rares. But then, by the same token, they're about even with each other. It's not like one of these is particularly above the other. So again, in that regard, I don't think it's particularly that big a deal, if I might say so. So up on the real top end, yeah, they're pretty much even. But then we start to see a bit of a difference. Because if we look at the big special illustration rare supporter in the set, we've got N over in Black Bolt and Hilda over in White Flare. Hilda's about double N right now. It's partly a playability thing, partly, well, I don't know. Is a player character that big a deal? I don't know, it might be. But the point is, right now, there's only one special illustration rare supporter in each set, and if we put them side by side, it's White Flare by a landslide. Like, not even close at this stage. Not even close, ladies and gentlemen. Hilda in a landslide. Okay. So we finally got a point in the column for White Flare. That's good. And then in terms of the other special illustration rares, they're all pretty much of a muchness. We got a Kyurem, which is nominally like the second biggest one in Black Bolt. But then you got Hydreigon coming along for White Flare, which is pretty much the same. And then you've got Meloetta for Black Bolt. But then you've got Jellicent for White Flare, which is basically the same. You end up essentially having pairs of these in a way where none of them ever actually start separating them out well enough. Not to be mean, but they all end up being a bit much of a muchness. Alright. So playability standpoint, I think Black Bolt's got it. At the higher ends, there's not really a huge amount of difference, and indeed, the only real difference we see value-wise, the only big change, is in the one special illustration rare supporter, where Hilda actually beats out N, and that is beats out by a significant margin. If you really want to look at the Master Ball secret rares, or the Master Ball rares, whatever you want to call them, the Master Ball rares, there is actually a winner by a mile, and it is Victini. Victini's the only one that really comes in here, and Victini is about 2.5 times anything seen in both the sets. So in terms of the Master Ball, it is actually Victini, which is in Black Bolt, so you can maybe go, oh, well, hang on a second. Maybe that's a point for Black Bolt, and maybe it is. So, with the information that we know here for a fact, it's very, very even. Black Bolt is better from a playability standpoint. Value-wise, both of the black and white rares are about the same. Both of the big special illustration rares are the same. White Flare wins because you've got Hilda over N, but Black Bolt wins because you've got the best Master Ball here, which is Victini. There we go. However, I have a prediction, and it's a prediction that I've made on this channel before, and it is not a guarantee, it is not a confirmation, it is not definitely happening, let's be clear. But I have a prediction. And my prediction is that Black Bolt is going to get Red Victini, and White Flare is going to get Full Art Cherin as a instead of. If that happens, I don't think. If that happens, Black Bolt becomes a choice by a mile. Black Bolt becomes a way better set, and at that point, it is not even remotely close. Side note, the Cherin won't have the stamp over here, I should make that clear. Now, the prediction comes from the fact that we've seen the numbering for the black and white rares of Zekrom and Reshiram, and they are essentially one higher than they should be, and the reasonable conclusion here is that secret rares have been inserted. I've done the maths properly in other videos, go check them out, or take my word for it, the choice is yours. This is not a guarantee. Let's be clear, it is not official, it is a prediction on my part and nothing more. I want to be perfectly clear about this. If, however, it ends up being true, and I believe it will be, it makes Black Bolt the choice by a mile. Not even close. If one set has an extra black and white rare, then, yeah, it's not even remotely close. Not even remotely close. Black Bolt by a landslide. If that's not the case, and the Victini isn't in there, as a side note, the reason why Victini is almost certainly going to be in Black Bolt, if it is because regular Victini, Master Ball, etc., they're all in Black Bolt, so it would make no sense to then go and put the black and white rare into White Flare. That just wouldn't make any sense. So, yeah, if that's the case, Black Bolt by a mile. Otherwise, it's pretty close. Me, personally, I think Black Bolt's got it playability-wise, and I think Zekrom's a little bit cooler than Reshiram. But as I've laid out, it is pretty close. It could go either way. Right, there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think. Tell me which set you're going for. Give me all of your thoughts, feelings, and otherwise in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Fawny Horvath, who's been a supporter of ours for a little while now, and seems to be lovely. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.